What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. It is new F1 game season. F1 2022 is only just around the corner, so I thought it's only time we talk about what I hope is in F1 2022 to make it the best possible F1 game we've ever had. And with EA jumping on board now, this is their first proper crack at an F1 game in collaboration with Codemasters, so much bigger budget now. I'm expecting big things, so hopefully some of the things I do say today will be in the game. That would be incredible. So I'm going to break down all these features and add-ons we need into 4 different categories. We're going to start with general, we're going to move into career mode, then we're going to move into online, and finally we're going to finish with handling. So hopefully I've covered most of the bases. Wasting no time, starting off with the big one. Crossplay. We need crossplay between Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and whatever the hell else. Nintendo Switch. Is it going to be a thing this year? I don't know. But we all need to be able to play against each other online, and that would add to the longevity of people playing in online game modes. I want to be able to play with my subscribers in all formats, in all platforms. So let's make it happen. Let's diversify this community and make it bigger. Next, virtual reality. It's been on Codemasters' radar for the longest time now, but for some reason we haven't seen it in the F1 game franchise. It's something the hardcore fans like me would really enjoy to add to that realism. I want to be gunning down Monaco turn 1, you know, in virtual reality with the walls either side of me. Think of the content we could make with virtual reality in an F1 game, having those massive crashes going on above you. I just want it. Hopefully this is the year. Another feature we need is the ability to drive the safety car, or safety cars. The AMG GTR Black Series and the Aston Martin GT3 edition of their car. Can we drive them, please? Now this one almost goes without saying. We really need tracks to be updated. I'm talking Abu Dhabi. I'm talking Spanish Grand Prix at Catalunya. Australia, you know, those are the big 3 that have had changes and were missing from last year's game. The fact that we had to wait months and months for Abu Dhabi to roll around, we knew the layout was coming, and it wasn't included in the game. That was a massive letdown for me. Saw another video the other day, I think it was Traction said the MotoGP game, like, had 2 or 3 months less notice to bring out their game. Their game came out earlier, and Spain was updated. Not good enough. I mean, if the tracks aren't updated this year, that's going to be a violation. While we're on the subject of tracks, I think it'd be incredible to bring in old version of tracks into the game. Classic tracks, like a classic Monaco, a classic Silverstone from, you know, the same kind of era, classic Interlagos from the 70s, Spa from way back in the day, Monza, oh my word, Monza from the 1950s with that old layout and the massive banking that you have to go around in. Please, that would be incredible. As well as that, like more modern classic tracks we could bring into the game in that sense. I think that's a lot more achievable for Codemasters. Like some of these tracks that you guys worked on recently. I'm talking Turkey, I'm talking like Valencia, India, Hockenheim, Nürburgring, Malaysia. It would be greatly appreciated by the F1 gaming community. We need the extra content. I didn't care much for classic cars, but I care a lot for classic tracks. Also, what happened to short layouts of tracks, or alternate layouts of tracks? Short USA, short Japan, short Bahrain, gone. F1 2021, that just went out silently into the night, never to be spoken of again. We want extra track. We want extra variations of tracks. Oh, there's extra content waiting to just be unlocked, and I feel like it would take minimal effort. Reverse directions of tracks. I'd love to drive Spa in the wrong direction and have it be an actual race instead of all of us having to turn around and do it the other way and not actually count. Having a full-on reverse grid race, I know it would be illegal and not the safest thing in the world, but it would be fun. It's a game. It's meant to be fun. Moving on to more, I guess, realistic things. Being able to start from the pit lane would be pretty cool. You can do it in ASSETTO CORSA. Doing it in career mode would be cool. If you feel the need to brake park firme, right, you're starting from the pit lane. and then you can change your setup and off you go. Or if you qualified really badly in a league race, you're starting P12, P13, and you've got some dodgy mate Dave starting right beside you, and you know he's got a grudge against you, he's going to dive bomb you into turn 1, you take yourself out of that situation. Right, I'll start from the pit lane and have a nice safe start. Good idea, is it not? And think of the challenge videos. Jan Ortme is going to be going crazy. Pit lane to podium, pit lane to win. I mean, that gives him content for another year, so let's do it. And finally, to round out the general features to add, red flags. No explanation needed. Right, let's move into career mode now. Starting off, pre-season test. I feel like some kind of early doors way to get used to the new car would be really cool. Another way to earn resource points. I feel like, personally, in my opinion, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of hype, a lot of build-up around pre-season, sandbagging, just playing little mind games with your rivals and just seeing where you are. I think that's a really intriguing area of the sport, which really hasn't been fleshed out to yet. On the subject of the early part of the season, parts and all that, being able to actually customize the visual look of your My Team car would be really cool. It's the perfect opportunity with new regulation cars. A lot of the teams look very different team to team, Ferrari to McLaren, Mercedes, etc. But being able to change the look of our front wing, front nose, steering wheel, gloves and steering wheel, rear wing, hubcaps, all sorts. It's time we just make the F1 car our own a little bit more. Another one, more flexible calendar. Instead of being locked into a 10, 16, or 22, 23 race season, let us have a 14 race season or however many races we want, up to, I don't know, 30. The FIA want to do it. FOM want to do it. Will be the test bed, I guess, with all of our classic tracks that you guys are going to add in, yeah? Oh, Alex Gillen will like this. Have a co-op My Team career. So we've got co-op, but it's in the driver career sense. If myself and my teammate can make our own team, that would be really sick. Or hell, if you want to go full balls to the wall, we both create a team and we have 12 teams on the grid. He has to hire a teammate. I have to hire a teammate as well. And then it's a true development race. 10 season career mode, whatever the hell you want it to be. That's bonkers. Now with My Team, it's no secret that there's a shortage of drivers to choose from in the teammate selection. So I think it'd be really cool if we could include reserve drivers to choose from the list as teammates. If we can choose like F3 drivers to choose from the list. Hell, maybe even Formula E drivers. It's all under that FIA umbrella now. So a little extra licensing permission would go a long way, I think. More driver transfers. We need more of them in between seasons. Generally, moves only happen if you force them to happen. If you pluck Lewis Hamilton out of Mercedes and plonk him in your car, then it sets off a domino effect or a small domino effect. If you keep the same teammate from season to season, generally nothing happens in other teams. So that needs to be addressed. It needs to be more fun. And yeah, it just needs to change up a little bit more than what it is because the balance is a little off. Oh, big one. And this is a big gripe of mine. We need to be able to choose our teammate strategy pre-race. Too many times we see our teammates go for soft to hard or, you know, do a two-stop when it's clearly a one-stop race. Having the ability to tell our teammate to push or conserve during a race. As well, this will aid with overtaking, I think, if our teammate is stuck in the order. If we tell them to push, they might go for that risky 50-50 dive bomb. It might result in a crash, but it might result in our teammate being driver of the day. Budget cap. It's 2022 now. Budget cap needs to be enforced. And it needs to be enforced for all teams. Right, bug fixes, tyre temps, and AI simulated times in qualifying, especially after seasons 2, 3, and beyond. Fix it. Let's talk about upgrades for a second. Rushed upgrades. I feel like that mechanic can change a little bit. You only have the standard development time, day remaining, and then the rushed time. If we could, like, move it as a slider, just so we can fit the upgrade before the Grand Prix, that would be nice. But when we you know, rush the upgrade more to slot in before the Grand Prix weekend starts, we have an increasing scale of failure. So that way we are kind of in control of our probability instead of just having one choice or the other. Having a more dynamic kind of way of getting the upgrade on would be cool. Another one, small detail, but you know, I think that would help a lot of people's OCD. Changing the team order of the constructors in the pit lane after season 1 in my team, or just driver career in general. So if you win the constructors, you need to be at the start of the pit lane instead of the end for the entirety of the 10-season career mode. Kind of makes sense, and a small detail kind of goes a long way. We need more an emphasis of on you actually winning the fucking championship, please. There used to be a cutscene where you'd be in the garage, you'd be hugging your team, and you'd be jumping up in the air for joy. You took that away. Where's that gone? We need that back, and we need more emphasis on we've actually done something epic here. We created our own F1 team, and we've beaten the world's best. All we get is a couple lines from Crofty. That's not good enough. After hundreds of hours of playing, that's not good enough. We need the FIA trophy presentation. We need Lewis Hamilton dressed up in a suit. I need to be dressed up in a suit. I need to be looking like a proper twat out there, accepting my trophy. And I don't know, it just needs to be better. Just better. I don't know how, but it needs to be cooler. And finally, we need to be able to join another team. Eventually, you get bored with racing and creating your own F1 team. I think it'd be cool to continue on in that career mode save and just say, screw it, I want to go to Ferrari. I want to beat my team in another team. I want to take them on. Yeah, being able to take down your old F1 team that you made, I think it is a nice storyline and maybe an alternative way to just keep the story going and keep it fresh. Let's move into online. Online has to be short because Codemasters don't seem to care about online very much. And that's the brutal truth, unfortunately. Right, first order of business. It would be epic to have a private lobby that allows mods. Straight away, Codemasters have clicked off this video. They don't like mods. Kind of like in the way that like Rocket League lets you have mutators. I think having that sort of stuff is really, really sick, just to spice it up a little bit. Second, and this is more of a realistic expectation, and that's having the ability to have scalable fuel and tire wear, much like Gran Turismo. So instead of it being scaled to 1 or 2 times for a 50% race or a 100% race, we choose the scaling ourselves. So if we want to make tire wear 10 times more aggressive than what it is, we can do that. If we want to make fuel burn 100 times more simulated than what it is, we can do that. We could do like a 7-lap Silverstone race and have like 10 times the tire wear. Let's see if it requires a stop to get to the end, or will we have punctures? Will we run out of fuel? Who knows? That's the beauty of having these really out there kind of rules and regulations. Online leaderboards with detailed stats. So Rocket League do this quite good. You can make comparisons of a whole bunch of different stats. Goals, assists, saves, matches played. Have the same thing for online for F1. Be able to see which of your friends or the global leaderboard, who's won the most races, who's taken part in the most races, who's made the most overtakes, who's hit the barrier the most amount of times in the world. Like, these are the kind of stats that people would really nerd out about and encourage people to keep playing the game. Because I know I want to go for the most wins overall online. I would grind that out. I would be an online merchant if some of these stats are in the game, just to, you know, have your name up there and, I don't know, help people be more recognized in the community, apart from just like the hackers at the top of the time trial leaderboards or some of the esports guys on the time trial leaderboards. I think that's a good incentive for some of the hardcore players. And finally, this is you know, quality of life update, which is much needed. Speed up the loading screens between sessions. So if you're doing like a 3-lap or 5-lap race on F1 22, you don't want to be waiting 5 minutes for old mate Bob to ready up so we can move on. Like, there needs to be a straight up 15 seconds after the race finishes, we move on to the next race. We don't have a black loading screen for 5 minutes. We don't wait for someone to go get their cereal and come back. We just go, whether they're ready or not. The lobbies need to flow a lot better, and the stability issues of those loading screens as well are really bad. Sometimes you can start a race or do a race and the whole lobby crashes after one race. It's pretty ridiculous. That really needs a overhaul, and pronto. Let's move on to handling. Only a couple things here because I feel like the handling is pretty good for a simcade for the F1 games, and it's going in a good direction. It's getting more and more sim-like every year. So I'd hope that maybe these two things are in F1 22. The first thing would be to simulate the AERO a little bit better than what it is now. I think iRacing, ASSETTO CORSA does this pretty well as well, but F1 definitely needs this improvement, and that is the faster you go through corners, the more downforce you actually have. I can kind of feel that they try to do that, but it isn't as obvious as, say, like iRacing, where if you really chuck it into a high-speed corner, you feel that extra downforce and the extra grip like push you through the corner, and you just have crazy amounts of grip. It actually rewards you for having bravery. That needs to be a thing in the F1 games, hopefully this year. And finally, when you lock up a tire, get a flat spot. That flat spot is there for the rest of the stint. And whenever you lock up the tire, or lean on the tire quite a bit, it's obvious that the flat spot will pick up in the same area, or sometimes the same parts of the track as well. If you have a bad flat spot, that should be it for that tire. Like, the vibration should, creep in there and then progressively get worse. Add to the realism. I am the king of lockups, and I need to change that. So punishing people who lock up their tires too much, I think it would be really cool. And with that, that is the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know how long this video has been, to be honest. It's probably a really long video. Hopefully it's not. If there's anything I've missed, things that you want to see added into the F1 2022 game and beyond, let me know. But more specifically, if there's any more fixes from F1 2021 that need to be carried over to the new game or eradicated for the new game, let me know. I might make a separate video on it, because some of these issues we've had lingering for years cannot be in F1 2022. This is a new era for F1, a new era for Codemasters with EA coming in. So I'd hope that we can start off on the right foot. And hopefully some of these things we talked about today are in F1 2022 or are not too far away in the future. Until the next video, guys, I'll see you next time. Oh, please like and subscribe. I can't remember if I said. Bye.